Smart Scale Summit. This is our second quarter business optimization challenge, and we designed this challenge to help you turn your business into a simple, automated machine that brings you customers every day. Most small business owners today know that digital marketing can help them to attract more customers, grow their audience, and simply scale their business. Yet they still struggle to actually develop an online marketing strategy that gets results. And even though these tools and technology have been around for so many years, there are still hundreds and thousands of business owners that don't know the way to actually design an online ecosystem that will actually produce results. And by results, I mean paying customers. So instead of using social media like a tool in their digital toolkit, I see so many small business owners that treat social media like a stage that they go to when they are desperate for clients or when they remember that this worldwide network exists. And what they do is end up performing for likes, hoping that somehow they will end up going viral and the views will convert into cash. Yet they do all of this while lacking the clarity, systems, and quite frankly, the consistency that is needed to actually attract customers online. Now, if you are a small business owner who feels overwhelmed or burnt out by doing everything manually in your business, yet you're still struggling to see results from the things that you're doing to market your business online, then this summit is designed just for you. Today, we're going to kick off the challenge by discussing how you can simplify your business so that it can actually grow. And remember, this is a 3-day summit. So, in order for you to actually get the results you're looking for, you want to tune in all 3 days because every day is going to build upon the last. But before we get into the presentation, the meat and potatoes of this workshop, let me tell you a little bit about myself, my expertise, and why I am teaching this workshop. I have a degree in communications and marketing from Temple University, as well as several other certifications that I've gained throughout the years. And I actually got my start in marketing as a director of communications for a Pennsylvania state rep over 15 years ago. Now, throughout my career, I've worked in TV and radio, as well as public relations and journalism. I've also produced some podcasts and web series, and I worked as a director of advertising and marketing for a boutique marketing agency located in Philadelphia. But for the past 10 years, I've run the Right Click agency. And during that time, we have worked with all kinds of organizations, from political campaigns to nonprofit organizations, large corporations, as well as small mom and pop businesses, and even solopreneurs. And by working with these hundreds of business owners, I've learned that there is one clear difference between businesses who actually leverage social media to attract customers and those that don't. And that clear difference is a clear marketing system. Now, what I want you to know before we really get into today's information is that what we're going to cover here today is not groundbreaking. It's not new. The reality is you most likely have just never had anyone walk you through the simple steps that it takes to build this system. And after these next 3 days, hopefully all of that will change and you'll be able to take the information that you get today and turn it into an actual machine that produces results for you. But what I want you to know before we get into it is that you actually don't need another tool. And you don't need to pay for another platform. And you also don't need to hop on the bandwagon and start mass producing AI content. I love AI, but I want to tell you that today Too many small business owners have way too many tools and way too many tactics to actually be successful. And that's what we're going to be diving into today, how to simplify the process, because that's what you need to do. You just need to simplify and systematize so that you can automate your processes and leverage AI and automation to create a machine that attracts new customers to your business daily. See, not having a system in place is the number one reason that most small businesses aren't growing. And that is the reason why I'm hosting the Smart Scale Summit. This 3-day summit is designed to help you to develop the clarity and systems you need so that you can show up online like the expert that you are, with the confidence in knowing that there is an automated digital marketing machine that's running behind you to consistently attract customers to your business. Now, this is the biggest takeaway you guys need to have today. You cannot automate chaos. And that's why the first step in this process is to simplify. You must take the first step and simplify your processes. So today we're going to do just that. We're going to be taking the first step to design your new marketing system. And after today's session, you're going to walk away with clarity on what makes you money, a focused offer, and a simple plan to grow. Okay, because that's all you need is a simple plan that you and your team can execute. Now, here's the truth. Most businesses actually don't have a marketing problem. What they have is a clarity problem, meaning they're not clear on the day-to-day operations. They're not clear on what they're supposed to be showing up and talking about online to their audience. And because they're not clear on what they're supposed to be doing, the people whose attention they do have, those people who actually do follow you and engage with your content, they're not clear on how you can help. So the reality is you don't have a marketing problem, you have a clarity problem. And until you make it clear to your audience how you can serve them, you're going to continue to have a cash flow issue. One of my favorite quotes from one of my sales mentors is, people will pay you today for the problem that you can solve today. So if you can offer your audience a solution that they are actually looking for, then you will be able to get paid today. Now, so many small business owners that I see are operating inside of what I call the chaos cycle. Meaning, one day you wake up and you realize that you haven't been posting in a while. How many of you guys can resonate with that? You look at your social media, your Instagram, your Facebook, your YouTube channel, wherever it is that you are sharing content. I myself have been guilty of this, and you realize that you haven't been posting in a while. So you decide that you're going to start posting. But the step that you skip is you don't have a system or clarity on a system of what it is that you're actually trying to accomplish with these posts. And so even though you start posting content, because the content is not strategic, you get discouraged because you don't see any results. And if you try this for a few days and you're not seeing any results, one of the biggest mistakes that many business owners make is that they jump from whatever it is that they were doing that wasn't delivering the results to trying something new. Maybe you come across a new workshop, a new trend, a new tactic, a new software that you have to have, a new tool that you need to use to be able to help you to get results. And then you may spend another few days trying to integrate this new trend or tactic or tool into your currently chaotic system. What does this result in? More burnout, more overwhelm, and you just rinse and repeat the cycle. Because once you get burnt out and overwhelmed from social media, many business owners, myself included, we push back, we take a break, we say we don't want to be here on social media. And until I freed myself from this chaos cycle, I wasn't able to free my clients and my customers from the chaos cycle. And that, if you followed me for any amount of time, you know that is the foundation of what we do here at the Right Click Agency, is we help business owners to build these systems that they can outsource to their team members, they can hire people to help them with, and they can automate and even leverage AI. But until you have the system and the process in place, you actually can't do any of that. And when you bring more people into the chaos, it doesn't reduce the chaos. Sadly, it just increases the chaos. So why does this happen? Well, there are a number of reasons that we see that this happens with small business owners. Number one, you may have too many offers, or offers that don't make sense to each other. So you're trying to sell everything, but these things are not connected. And we'll talk a little bit more about this later in the summit, because I do think that you can have multiple offers, but you need to start by clarifying one thing at a time. And not only can it confuse your audience, but it also can confuse you and your team if you have too many offers to start out with. Number two is your offers are not organized. So if you have more than one offer, they definitely should be organized in tiers and levels, or some sort of cohesive manner that helps people to identify which of these offers is a good fit for me and which of these things is going to make sense for me. The third reason that we see chaos within business systems is the messaging is not clear. So if you're not clear on your message, then your team is not going to be able to be clear on your message. If the messaging isn't consistent across your platforms, if it's not consistent, if it's not translating to your social media posts, then your audience is not going to be able to understand how it is that you can serve them, how it is that you can help them. And what all of this boils down to, the top reason why there is chaos when it comes to marketing for small business owners, is that there is no focused marketing strategy. One of the biggest and best tools that you can use that will totally simplify your marketing strategy on a day-to-day basis is to develop your marketing calendar. We suggest that you develop a marketing calendar from an annual perspective, and then you break that down from a quarterly perspective, and then you break that down even further on a monthly and weekly and day-to-day perspective. And if that's something that you need help with, we actually have some free resources on our website that will help you to be able to go through the process of developing this. But the reason that big corporations that we like to shop with, you know, the big stores, the Walmarts, we're not shopping at Target, but Target, the Dollar Tree, any other big store that you may shop at, big corporation, they're not struggling with their messaging on a day-to-day basis because they actually have an annual marketing calendar. And that helps them to know what they're talking about to their audience at all times. Typically, their offers are not changing on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis, because they know that consistency in their messaging is what's going to create brand loyalty from their customers, right? So the bottom line is, the reason that your customers aren't buying is because they are confused. And the reason that your customers are confused is because your messaging is confusing. So we have to get clear on the message. And I've created a very simple profit formula for you. You guys can take a screenshot of this or write it down in your notes if you're taking notes. Because remember, the key here for today's presentation, for today's workshop, is for us to simplify the chaos. That's what we're working on today. So number one is clarifying our offer. What is it that we are offering to the marketplace? Once we're clear on that offer, we're going to simplify that message. And today we're going to go through a couple of exercises that's going to help you to be able to get clear on all of this. Number three is clarifying the audience. Who is this particular offer for? Make it as specific as possible. And number four, once you've clarified all of those things, it becomes easier to convert because you're going to tell people what it is you want them to do to be able to take advantage of the offer. How can they get you to help them with whatever it is that they're looking for? So, when it comes to your offer, identify what sells the easiest in your business, solves a real problem, and actually brings in revenue for your business. The other thing that you have to keep in mind is that social media users are typically looking to be educated or entertained. Those are the two primary categories that people are falling into when they're scrolling through content online. So your customers typically either want to solve a problem or feel some sort of relief, for example, joy from the problems that they're experiencing. And you need to be clear on which category your audience falls into. Which category does your product or service fall into? Is it solving the problem or is it helping them to escape the problem and feel, another emotion, joy, excitement, happiness, relaxation? And there are so many different product examples that we can give that will fall into either category. So it's really on you to determine and to do some market research to figure out what is it that your audience is looking for when they're looking for businesses like yours. Now, remember, keep it simple. You don't need more offers. You need one clear, strong solution to your customers' biggest problems or desires. So that doesn't mean that you can't have multiple things to sell. But again, all of those things need to be cohesive and they need to make sense across the board. The better you do, the better job, or the better job you do of making your offers cohesive when you have multiple offers, the better it, or the easier rather, it will be to convince people to purchase from you. Let me say that again. The better job you do of making your offers cohesive when you do have multiple offers, the easier it will be to convince people to buy from you. So again, are you solving a problem or are you helping your customers and clients escape a problem? Are you providing education? Is your content based around information or is your content based around entertainment? Are you providing an escape for them? And then what is the offer? How does it solve their problem? How does it help them accomplish this? The next thing that we need to do is to shift our message. Remember, we're not describing the step-by-step process of what we do. We're not showing them that when they download this ebook, they're going to get 500 pages of worksheets, because who wants that? What we're showing them is that when they get to the end of the workbook, this is what they're going to have obtained. When you download my workbook, I'll use myself right now. I'm learning how to speak Arabic, which is actually a fun skill for me, but I don't want to download another workbook that's going to give me tons and tons of stuff to do necessarily. I want something that's going to help me, that by the time I've completed the workshop or workbook, whatever it is, I'm actually going to know how to speak the language, right? That's information, right? So I'm not looking to be entertained. I'm looking to gain education. I want to know how you can help me to get from where I am as a non-Arabic speaker to where I want to be, which is as an actual Arabic speaker. So stop describing the contents of your product or service. Yes, people may care if you're making your t-shirts from 100% cotton versus a poly blend, but the reality is they really want to know, how is it going to feel, how is it going to make me feel, and what's the end result I'm going to get when I purchase this. So start showing the results you deliver. And the easiest way to do this is to give people a peek into the experience that many of your customers are already having, a behind the scenes, a before and after. There are so many ways that you can break down content on this. But again, the first thing that we have to do is get clear on the messaging. So here's a simple framework that I want you guys to screenshot this or write this down if you are taking notes, because this is the framework that you're going to build your messaging around. And hopefully by tomorrow you will have a clear one sentence framework that you can bring back to the workshop so that we can build upon it with the rest of the days of content. Okay, so the framework goes like this: I help who, so you're going to fill in the who, get result, so you're going to fill in the results without the pain point, whatever their pain point is. So let's use the example that I was just talking about with learning how to speak Arabic. I help non-Arabic speakers learn how to speak Arabic without having to memorize 5,000 vocabulary words, right? So again, just an example, but you can use it for anything in your business. I help who get what result without the pain point. So that's going to be your homework for tonight. You're going to write your own statement. Again, we don't want it to be long. It shouldn't be a run-on sentence. It should be a clear one sentence framework that helps you to describe what it is that you do in your business, because that's going to be the foundation of everything else we do over the next several days, over the next 2 days rather. Now, clarity is just the first step. Clarity alone does not bring the customers. So remember, we're building a simple marketing system that you can automate that will automatically attract customers for you. But this is just the first step. Now, some of you are watching today and you already know that you need help to execute the smart scale system in your business. And if that's you, like I said, there are some free tools on our website that we've created to help you start implementing this. But we also have our special implementation offers that expire on Friday. And if that is something that you're interested in, I suggest that you do not wait to take advantage of those offers. Now that you have simplified your offer and you've created that simple framework, tomorrow we are going to take the next step and start building out your system. So when you come back here tomorrow, same time, same place, make sure that you have your simple framework already mapped out so that we can start to dive deeper into everything that needs to be done over the next several days. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this is starting to help you gain clarity around your business, around your offer. I can't wait to see you for the next 2 days. I know that this is going to be an amazing presentation, and I know that we're going to help so many business owners to be able to design an automated system that will scale their business. So if you haven't done so already, please share this with a friend that you know could benefit from this information. And again, I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Until next time, bye. Smart Scale Summit.